The wind is just going around this windshield, so it's not really doing anything other than keeping it off my chest. It's going right into my face. I'm trying. 2, neutral, first gear, got it. That was annoying. See ya. I couldn't find first gear. It was just kind of stuck in limbo. It's a very easy motorcycle to ride. If you can control the throttle, it's a very easy motorbike to ride. Here's this tab. I don't know if you can see it as I flip through the spreadsheets. Fuel consumption, distance, average fuel consumption, battery voltage, date. A lot of redundancies, actually. I don't know why there's 4 fucking tabs. Anyway. It's funny, I'm just riding around now and it's very familiar. It's a very comfortable motorcycle. It's got oodles of power with the 750 engine, and it can be very aggressive if you need it to be. And especially with that, oh, I'm still in sport mode. Especially with that sport mode. Hello, you fucking prick. Calm down, Dick. Didn't even look f***ing right in the roundabout. Just pulled out. Couldn't find the horn. Didn't think that would be an issue on a Honda. Another one of my congested London demos. I know how everyone loves them so much. Check your mirrors next time. The bike feels very familiar. It feels well proportioned for an average sized adult male. The suspension stock seems very adequate and compliant for my weight, which is heavier than it should be. The seat's a little hard. The weight is good. "72 Newton meters of torque," which isn't terribly high, but it feels very torquey. I do really like this engine. The engine is the takeaway. It's not as vibey as the Triumph, though I haven't been at sustained RPM. I'm wondering what it'll be like out on the highway. When you're at sustained RPM, the handlebars buzz pretty high frequency. But again, this bike has 289 miles on it. So as the engine beds in, I'm sure it'll get smoother. There's definitely a lot of power here that I'm not utilizing at the moment. You can feel it. It's almost like you can measure the potential energy of it. If you ignore the vulnerability of some of the sensitive parts on the undercarriage, this thing is a very... I forgot what I was going to say, because when I went up that... I'm still in sport mode. Standard. When I went up that speed bump, That's how sensitive that throttle is. I jerked forward. I'd be interested to see how easily controllable this twitchy throttle is off-road. This is not as rally-inspired as the Tenere, even though the Tenere is its direct competitor. I think it's probably closer in spirit to the V-Strom, but it's a higher class V-Strom. I think it's actually a bit more refined than the BMW 750 GS. The BMW, I'm always surprised at how industrial it feels. It's BMW is sold as kind of a premium high-end brand, but when you get close to one or you ride one, it's a bit raw and rough around the edges. So I'm flat-footed on my left foot, and my foot is up on the brake, as we're taught here in the UK, and it's still nearly vertical. Engine braking is exquisite. That engine braking is excellent. Oh, I like this engine. It's not a V-twin, but it's really well tuned. If they could just solve that twitchy throttle. It's funny, it's reminiscent of the first generation Indian FTRs in how jerky that throttle is. But I think as I'm getting used to the bike, as I'm getting used to controlling the bike, I'm learning how subtle I need to be. Though I have been caught off guard on these speed bumps, and I would be caught off guard taking this off-road. It doesn't feel particularly heavy, or I should say no heavier than my Transalp. But again, something like this, I'd rather be on my CRF or my CT going off-road. Fire roads, the occasional track you find, but anything technical, I wouldn't want to lift it up. And you got to add a lot of crash protection, more than the original Transalp. So all that crash protection will add weight, and that's gonna be an issue picking it up. I don't know, they lost a trick in not having an adjustable windshield, but I can't reach it anyway. It's way out there. The bike is very far out ahead of you. It's like the Africa Twin in that respect, and how far out in front of you that cockpit is. And it has the early CB500X issue where all these kind of blanking panels where nothing's really happening. It's just hiding wires. It doesn't seem like an elegant solution. It's nice, a bit of filtering. It's a CB700X, and that's really what it should be called. I don't know how much mileage they're going to get off of extra sales by calling it a Transalp. Maybe because the CB500X is one of those sleeper perfect bikes that only the couriers and the dispatch riders understand. 9,499 pounds. If the dealerships honor those suggested retail prices in this day and age of what motorcycles are going for and motor vehicles are going for, I'd say for this bike, that's a bargain. There we go. Little high-end filtering. very fluid. It's easily maneuverable. At least they memorialized motorcycles in the bus lane out here. They're constraining it everywhere else in this fucking city. All right, let's get on a motorway. It's not saying much because these days motorways are constrained as the cities in terms of speed limits. But we'll see if I can get it up to speed, or at least some sustained RPM to see if that vibration would be an issue. Come on, man. What is going on here? If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.